What happens when God says no? Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever the Holy Spirit brings us across your timeline, Gospel Seekers. My name is Michael, and we are taking a look at what I mentioned yesterday. Whether or not He changes your situation is a hard saying. I might touch on that tomorrow. What happens when God says no? The answer is His grace is sufficient. God saying the same, we will come back to that tomorrow. We are still in our Bible Promises series, so let's get to it. Oh, and yes, I did get my hair done. Thanks for noticing. Yesterday's video was dark, so maybe you didn't notice it, but just in case, want to point it out. Anyway, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 8 through 10. And it reads, 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time He said, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness. So now I am glad to boast about my weakness so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weakness and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. What I love about this verse is we often forget that people in the Bible were people. Here you have Paul, most arguably the most influential man that has ever come out of a Middle Eastern religion besides Jesus himself. And this man, at the height of his ministry, is not afraid to say he begged. He begged God to take away what he was dealing with. Some translations say he pleaded, and this man did not give up when he was told no. But Mike, where was he told no? Come on, y'all. I know the American education system is not that great, but we have to be able to, again, look at the context clues. I begged the Lord to take it away, and each time the Lord said, no, my grace is enough. My power works best in your weakness. There is no better testimony to how did you get through this? How are you living with this? Why are you so brave? Than to be able to say, this ain't nothing but God. So I asked the question, what happens when God says no? It's to understand that whatever we are struggling with, God can still utilize. It's the same message that has been in all of our promises that we have been studying so far. Get close to God, God will take care of it. Just think about this. If Paul had chosen to walk away, then he would have still been struggling with what he was struggling with, on top of then also struggling with it on his own. No strength, no power from God. And how often do we do that? When we are struggling with stuff, do we walk away from God? But yet that's not the case with anything else in our lives. Here's what I mean. Tony Evans puts it like this. When I have a really bad headache, I take extra strength pain reliever because it has the power to address my problem. My weakness drives me to a pill so that its power may be demonstrated in my life. If not for the weakness that God allows for us to endure, we will lack opportunities to seek His sufficient grace and experience His perfect power. So using that analogy of taking the pain reliever, we all do this. You're in pain, you take some medicine. You're sick, you generally go to a doctor. My phone's not working, it's not answering calls. I'm going to go ahead and call the phone company. Your videos are constantly buffering. I'm going to go fix my Wi-Fi. In every avenue of our lives, we go to either the source or a fix to get our problems rectified. So why the heck are we not doing that when it comes to life's problems? He is the source, the author, the fixer of our lives. Why are we trying to handle these things on our own? When He says no, it's the opportune time to understand that we are already in the right place. Because there's no better place than to be close to God. And we went to God to ask Him for an answer, and He said no. So we're already there. Why would we turn and leave? There's no better place than the person who controls it all. Tony Evans says it like this. The Lord has grace and power to accomplish in your life only what is possible in the midst of your profound weakness. So, by God's grace, take pleasure in your weakness so that His power can be revealed. Then you will be able to say along with the Apostle Paul, when I am weak, then I am strong. We talked yesterday about the idea of getting new strength because we trust on the Lord. When you are weak, as you draw closer to God, you're not just getting new strength, you're getting godly strength. It's a testimony to yourself and anybody around you that ain't nobody but God. I've been reading Mike Todd's Crazy Faith again, and as I've been reading through it, something came up in my notes from when I read it last time that I wanted to share with you all today. And it was interesting how the Lord works. I read it literally today, as I was preparing this message in this chapter. So my notes say that I don't think there's anything wrong with asking the question, what if God doesn't deliver the miracle I am believing him for? The answer should then be, well, then he will make another way. No, even when it hurts, it's still an answered prayer. At that point, believe that he has something greater in store. Until then, he will sustain you. My Fire Bible says it like this: many times when God answers a sincere prayer with a refusal, a no, or a not now, he gives something much better instead. Grace is God's favoring us with his presence, love, help, and power. It is heavenly strength given to those who depend on God and call on him for help. This grace will be with faithful Christians who allow their personal weakness and difficulties to become a means of honoring Christ. The greater our weakness and sufferings for Christ, the more grace God will give to accomplish his purposes. That grace is always sufficient for each new day so that we can accomplish what he desires for that day and endure any suffering, difficulty, or thorns in our flesh. As long as we rely on Christ, he will give us his strength and comfort. We should be grateful for our weaknesses and see eternal value in them because they allow Christ's power to be revealed in and through us as we journey through life toward our heavenly home. By relying on Christ, we all discover the truth of Paul's statement, "For when I am weak, then I am strong." No sucks. No hurts. But as I said, we can't let our emotions push him away. Think about any other relationship you have, whether it's your parents, your siblings, your loved ones, your friends. Being told no is not the end of the relationship. So why do so many of us let one no or even a string of no's end the relationship between us and God? Because no also means that something better is coming. You didn't get that job because God knows it would have killed you. You didn't get cured because you have a ministry to work out in that place where you get your treatment. They walked away from the relationship because they couldn't handle what God was changing and doing in your life. No from people hurts, but when it comes from God, it comes with a promise that he's going to sustain us even within that no, and that he knows something better is coming for us. As Jeremiah 29:11 says, he knows the plans he has for us, plans to prosper us, to give us hope and a future. No just means hold on, wait, something better is coming. And that, my friends, is good news. That's all I have for you today. If the Lord wants us to, we will see each other tomorrow, and we will continue to see the good news of the Holy Spirit together. Shalom.